Hold on to your hats, guys. This week we're looking at the top 10 Earth cards from Arthurian Legends. Starting off the list at number 10 is Stone Rain. Stone Rain is a 4-mana magic in which the caster targets a location up to 2 steps away and deals damage to all units there equal to 1 plus the number of sights in hand. With the current card pool, Stone Rain isn't actually too crazy. It's complemented by Earth being the best element for adding sights to hand, as we'll see coming up later, but it really just makes this list by Earth not getting as much love from this set as the other elements, in my opinion. Stone Rain does shore up one of Earth's big weaknesses in dealing direct damage. Stone Rain can provide an Earth deck with a pretty simple death blow, since 2 steps away is a pretty wide range, making most locations just an arm's reach away. At number 9 is Rita Gower of Snowdonia. Rita is a 6-mana giant with 6 power and a static ability that says other minions can't untap. Rita is extremely oppressive against minion-heavy decks, since they will only ever get 1 action with their minion while Rita's in the realm. There is no instant speed removal in the game, so you will always skip 1 untap step of your opponent's before they can even think about taking him out, which can be a chore with his 6 power. The trouble with playing Rita is that his effect is symmetrical, so on your turn, only he will untap. Because of this, Rita is best played in minion light decks, or perhaps silence decks that can turn him on or off when needed. And at number 8 is Impenetrable Copse. Impenetrable Copse is an Earth site with the ability projectiles can't enter this site from the outside. Impenetrable Copse offers a nice bit of protection to your side of the realm by nullifying some of the effects from your opponent. Just about every deck has projectiles in it in one form or another, and just being able to stop grapple shots makes this card worth slotting in your atlas. Just be careful where you put it so that it's not interrupting your own projectiles. You can get a lot of value from this site by playing it on turn 1, since it will protect you from outside threats, and it will still allow you to cast projectiles from inside shooting outwards. At number 7 is Wormlow Tump, another Earth site, only this one prevents your opponent from interacting with cards in your cemetery. I talked a bit about cemetery interaction in the last video. It's a generally useful ability, but there's not too much of it in the game yet. Because of this, Wormlow Tump is going to have games where it doesn't do anything for you. This is especially true because you need 3 Earth Threshold to turn on its ability, but if you're playing a deck that cares about its cemetery, you can't go wrong having this in your atlas. And at number 6 is Grain Sparrow. Grain Sparrow is a 1-mana beast with Airborne and Genesis gain 2 life. For 1 mana, Grain Sparrow offers a lot of potential life gain. You'll get an initial 2 off the Genesis ability, and then if you chump block, say a 4-power minion, that's an effective total of 6 life gained. That's only 1 less than Divine Healing. And you can reap extra value from the Sparrow due to its beast typing, or just get the life gain for free by casting it to a hamlet. Grain Sparrow makes the list for being an easy to slot in, flexible card for any control deck. And at number 5 is Guards. Guards is a 6-mana magic that summons a foot soldier to each location nearby your avatar. So by just moving up once, you can get 9 foot soldiers, and at 6 mana, that's not too shabby. What you do with those foot soldiers really determines if you want to play this card or not. You don't really want to get just chump blockers out of this because at 6 mana, you could be better off playing a sweeper and getting rid of the problem than just chump blocking. But it's an excellent enabler for a tokens deck. So if you play a lot of anthems, you can really make this card go crazy. And if you're feeling really spicy, you can jam this into a battle mage deck and paradrop your soldiers into the enemy's domain. And at number 4 is Kettletop Leprechaun. Kettletop Leprechaun is a 2-mana, 2-power fairy with Deathrite, draw a sight. It's incredible how far up into the list this simple guy has made it. At 2 mana, he comes down early enough that drawing sights is still relevant, and since the draw is attached to his Deathrite, you don't really care what happens to him. He is very comparable to Land Surveyor from Beta, and the extra power seems to outweigh the cost of having to wait for your sight. He goes great in most mid-range piles, since getting ahead on mana is something they try to do to play some bigger threats earlier, and he's a generic slot-in for most Earth decks. And number 3 is Pebbled Paths. Pebbled Paths is an Earth site with the ability Nearby Minions Lose Charge. Charge is a very powerful ability in Sorcery, since the binary nature of turns means a charge minion always gets to act before they can be answered. Pebbled Paths shuts down this extremely powerful ability, which has become a hallmark of aggro decks in the format. The paths are symmetrical, so if you're playing Charge yourself, you might want to reconsider adding these. But Earth isn't really known for that kind of ability, and Pebbled Paths is among the strongest anti-aggro tools in the format. At number 2, we have Tithe. Tithe is a 1 mana magic that lets you draw 3 sights. Tithe is pretty crazy value. Not every deck needs it, but the decks that do love it. Tithe is especially important in decks focused around a particular unique site, since with the increased atlas size to 30, it's not as easy to guarantee you find those sites. Tithe makes that easier. It turbos your stone rains, and for most decks, it just sets you up with enough sites to draw spells for the rest of the game. As the card pool expands and we get more things to do with sites, Tithe will only become more important and you'll see more utility in its use. And the number 1 card on this list is Vivien the Enchantress. Vivien is a 5 mana, 1 power mortal who has the printed abilities of all spellcasters and avatars in the realm. Vivien is an incredibly crazy card. At the very worst, she's going to tap to draw or play a site, as she can be a second sorcerer or just steal an opposing sorcerer's ability. The real magic comes in when you have other spellcasters in the realm, like a Grandmaster Wizard whose Genesis will become Vivien's. And you can get into some wild infinite combos when there's a Standing Stones in the realm. Vivien's ability is absolutely ludicrous at first glance, and it just gets more and more game breaking the longer you think about it. Vivien will only get easier to enable as the card pool expands, and you'll want to keep your eye out on this one. And that was my list for the top 10 Earth cards from Arthurian Legends. If you liked what you saw, be sure to subscribe to the channel to see more content like this. Let me know what cards are in your top 10 list that didn't make mine.